Come on now. You know, I thought we'd never get here. Howdy, everybody. Welcome to the show into Indiana, where Jade Webster and I just left MVP Whitetails, and we've been on this little pony for a while. And today we got a picnic to attend, and we're going to show you some big old bucks right here in Indiana. Come on now. Don't cut the corner too tight. Now you can go.
The white-tailed deer is America's favorite big game animal, and white-tailed deer farming is the fastest growing segment in the American agriculture industry. Our program's mission is to dive into the world of deer farming and discover why tens of thousands of Americans compete to create the biggest bucks in the world. And by the biggest bucks, we don't just mean the size of the antlers. The financial investment opportunities produced even on small parcels of rural land will blow you away. Join me as we discover how whitetail genetics, deer auctions, animal husbandry, and so much more drive the deer farming industry. My name is Keith Warren, and this is Deer and Wildlife Stories.
So Camelot Ridge Resort is several hundred acres located in the northeastern part of the state of Indiana, and it's about a half hour away from Fort Wayne. I wound up coming here last year and got with Doug McComb, and you know, Doug is a different kind of deer farmer. That's a cool thing about deer farmers. They come from all different walks of life. And Doug, he has this place because he loves wildlife. He loves nature, and of course he loves the white-tailed deer. But he has other people basically run this for him. So Doug, although he lives here, Doug is not hands-on on these deer all the time. These deer, for Doug, like many people, these deer are very therapeutic.
Hello, I'm Doug McComb. We're here in a beautiful Villa, Indiana. Deer farming is very therapeutical for me. It causes me to relax, enjoy, unwind, forget any stresses I might have had during the day. And the deer are all about you. They depend on you, you depend on them, so it's a great mutual relationship between deer and man and how we interact together.
Doug's he's got a great personality. I mean, he's just, you got to know him. Okay, those people that know him absolutely love him. And you walk in his home, and you're going to stay right here at the resort. This is where he lives, and you're going to look around. You're going to see all these memories that have been in Doug's life. I mean, you're going to see all kinds of taxidermy mounts, and of course, you're going to see all kinds of fishing gear, and it's wonderful because it tells a story about his life, and that's the kind of person that Doug is. Like many deer farmers, Doug has somebody that is hands-on every day, that is actually 7 days a week working on the deer. And the person in charge out here that does that job, her name is Brittany.
Hi, my name's Brittany. I'm the deer herd manager here at Camelot Ridge, and I love what I do. Since the 4 years I've been here, we've expanded a lot. We've grown the herd by probably 50 deer, and we just added 21 more this fawning season. We've got about 12 bucks right now, and they grow tremendously from year to year. Hopefully for the future, we're gonna get more into the breeding side this fall for AIing the does. I have a lot of plans, picking the right stuff, and hopefully growing some big bucks.
All right, look at that guy right there. That is a great big 2-year-old buck. And for those of you that know pedigrees, that guy is out of a buck called the Fed. And the Fed is a very well-known buck that lots of people all over the country are using. He's out of Indiana, owned by Lester Eicher, and that is a really nice buck, and you can see why so many people are using him. Now, later on in the show, we're going to go to a farm, and there's another farmer up here, John Stolfes. John has got a giant 1-year-old out of the Fed, and we'll show him to you then, too.
I'd like to extend an invitation to anybody that might be listening. I'd like you to maybe come here for a personal visit. If not, why, feel free to contact us at our website, www.camelotridgeresort.com, and get further information. We'd love to have you come out for a tour, maybe check out the environment, maybe go for an ATV ride with us, bring your horses. Just have a great time out here. There's 3 swimming pools altogether, 2 good-sized lakes, 2 log cabins. We've got sporting clays, we've got a handgun range, pistol range, a whole host of things to do to share the day and relax, de-stress, and enjoy the environment.
So we wound up showing you what they have here at Camelot Ridge Resort, and I got a chance to wet a line with my friend Doug McComb. And now we're heading just up the road to John's place, and we're going to show you some really big deer and another Indiana Deer Farm.
Now it's time for one of our frequently asked questions. All right, so we're going to do something pretty cool here. We're going to take a dart and we're going to get a sample to send in to get some DNA on a deer. Now, these DNA darts are used by people all over the world. I mean, they use them in Africa on lions to be able to extract DNA off the lions. And the way these work is really cool. Take a look at this. Here we go. Nice. That little sample of deer hide right there is what we can get the DNA off of. We're going to take that small sample of deer hide and put it in the alcohol. That little sample of deer hide right there will give us so much incredible information. All right, so all we're going to do is send this now off to the North American Deer Registry, and we're going to wait for them to get back with us and tell us who that deer's mother and father are. If you've got any questions, odds are we've got answers, and you check out all kinds of videos on our website under the FAQ section, so make sure and check it out. Thanks for watching. The Deer Farming Channel is brought to you in part by New Dart, leading the industry in accuracy. All right, so we traveled just about a half hour up the road, and we're now just outside of Shipshawana at John Stolfes' place, and going to show you some big deer here. All right, so who do we have in here?
Well, this is the pen of 2-year-olds, and there's a few yearlings in here, but I'm just really happy with them.
Woo, let's go check these guys out. My gosh. Well, they're nice and calm for doggone sure, and your pins are big.
Yeah, they're big, and the grass is green, and that's how I like it. I like it when it's just nice and lush and not too much pressure on the pens and things like that. But yeah, I'm proud of these guys out here.
John, these deer are beautiful. I mean, you know, there's a lot of people that think the northern deer are full of a lot of non-typical, and there are some places that have a lot of non-typical, but by and large, I mean, you've got some really pretty framey typical deer.
Well, I mean, I try to breed, you know, I don't just try to just breed typical or non-typical, things like that. I mean, I try to do like a variety because I just think there's customers for both of them. And that's what I like to do.
There are some really pretty ones. I like that one. He's got some huge brow tines. So pedigree-wise, let's talk about that for a minute. I mean, I would assume that every deer that you have is in the North American Deer Registry. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and so if anybody is a deer breeder, you know what NADAR is, the registry is. But if you're not a deer breeder, it's like I call it the holy grail for finding out what deer are. I mean, how many hours can you spend on NADAR looking at deer?
Hours. You're always trying to find what your guys are up to, and trying to find new deer, competitions up to. So you're always looking for deer.
And there's over 300,000 deer in the registry, and so these guys, look how pretty their coats are. I mean, they're beautiful red. I mean, it is early August, and these deer are really basically done. I mean, you can see, I mean, some of them's got a little bit more growing to do, but for the most part, I'd say they're 95% done, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, like this year here, I thought they started off a lot earlier, and they shut down a little bit earlier, but I still think I got the full potential out of all my deer.
John winds up, he's got a giant 1-year-old that a lot of people are talking about. This is out of a buck called the Fed over at Lester's place.
Yep, and the Fed's giant this year.
All right, and he's a 1-year-old you got?
Yes, he's a yearling this year.
Let's go look at him.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, so this is pretty important, like really important. I want to point something out. Most fences around deer farms are 8 foot tall. You'll see an 8 foot tall fence there. But there's a 10 foot tall fence here, and there's a reason why. Michigan is right there. Indiana is right there. And John's going to tell you why he has that 10 foot fence.
Okay, so the reason that I have the 10 foot fence is so that I can service deer farmers in the state of Michigan. For them to buy deer down here, the fence has to be at least 10 foot high.
I think that's pretty cool. People need to realize in Michigan, you got to have 10 foot fences. So anyway, nice little point. Let's go see that big yearling.
All right.
Well, you got some big old deer in here. That's for doggone sure.
Well, I got a yearling in here that I'm really excited about, and a big 2-year-old, but the yearling, he's definitely one of a kind. He's out of the Fed and out of a TNT doe, and
really?
I'm just really excited. He just started just growing this spring, and
is that him right there?
That's him right there. He looks
man.
He looks like a 2 or 3-year-old.
Look at the growth on him.
Oh yeah, he's got good tine length, good beam length. He started out early and he just kept pouring it on, so he's by far the best one I've ever raised.
Your deer are calm. I mean, look at these deer right here. They're calm, and you can tell you spend a lot of time with them.
We do. We spend a lot of time with our deer.
Wow.
Hours.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that is a giant fed yearling. That's a giant. Now, there's another great big one right there. Who's that?
He is out of Freeze brand on a Sudden Express doe, and he is one of the prettiest 2-year-olds I've ever seen.
That deer's 2? Come on.
He's 2 years old. Yep.
Okay,
And
okay.
That's the kind of stuff we raise. I mean, we just raise big, pretty stuff.
So if somebody wants to come out here and take a look, this is up in the northern part of Indiana. Matter of fact, Michigan is right there. If you want to come to see John, give him a telephone number.
Okay, like a great phone number to call me on is 574-596-2347. You can call me any time of the day. I love talking deer. I love talking pedigree.
And he loves growing great big deer, and he'll help you out too. So after the break, you know, you're looking at that great big fed yearling. We're going to show you what the fed looks like, and you're going to like this. All right, so the thing consistent on this show, besides Indiana, we're at Indiana Deer Farms, is the deer called the fed and his production. And the value of a deer in the deer business is when you see a deer that has repeated big production, and the fed is getting it done. Take a look, these 2 yearling bucks that are here, these are examples of what the fed is throwing. So we just had to stop over here on our way over to Lester's place, and we're gonna go to Lester's right now and show you what the fed is throwing on his place. All right, so this is Jade Webster. He is owner of MVP Whitetails down in Texas, and also the Buck Major League. And anybody in the deer industry has heard of Major League. And so we're at Springfield Whitetails right now, and we're just outside of Grayville, Indiana. And this is Lester Eicher's place. Lester's an Amishman, and because of that, he is not going to be on camera. So Jade decided to come down because there's going to be a big event with the Indiana Deer Farm Association tomorrow. And so last year we were here, and the fed was 3 years old. And so we can show you a video of him at 3 years old. And right now it is, we are just entering the 2nd week of August. Okay, and last year we were here the 1st week of August. So right now we're gonna show you what the fed looks like. Now you may be wondering, what the heck happened to his antlers? Well, I'll tell you what happened. On July the 13th, Lester made a decision to go ahead and knock him down and cut his antlers off. And at that time, his antlers weighed 35 pounds. Okay, now you may be wondering, why would you knock them down? But we know it's to save the animal. I mean, many times they'll get an antler infection. I mean, there's something going on. It's like there's no need for the fed to have to carry the antlers to full production. The reason why is because we already know how big he is, and he knows and we know what the production is of the animals. So you can take a look out here. For example, this pen right here, these bucks in here are all yearlings out of the fed. Okay, now think about this. You take that production of the fed, and any deer breeder can get on the NADAR website and see how many offspring are out of the fed, and you can take that and imagine the fed's mom when you put Major League in it.
Gets me excited.
It's got to get you excited because
Very
it's just got
excited.
the blood. I mean, and so when all of a sudden you start looking at this, and it's just not these yearlings. We have stopped up the road and somebody's got yearlings up there. John Stolfes has got a gigantic yearling out of him. So the cool thing about this I want to point out is that deer breeders all over the country, we network with one another. And it's that networking, I think, that has become so valuable, don't you?
For sure, definitely is.
I mean, when we wind up, we take people from the south and we get them with people from the north and vice versa. We make better decisions for animals and better decisions for our businesses.
For sure.
So which one of these is your favorite?
Man,
It's hard to
to
say.
pick with all those fed yearlings.
Yeah.
It's real hard to pick.
I mean, I don't know, they're all pretty.
You're right.
I mean, and the deal is, in the next pen, there's some 2-year-olds in there that you're not going to believe either. So let's head on over there and take a look at them.
Sounds good.
This guy right here, I love the frame on that guy, and that's a fed 2-year-old now.
That's amazing.
You know, when you know, inside the barn in there, he's got the fed when he was a yearling. And I look at that set of antlers as a yearling. He was a giant yearling. I mean, he got everybody's attention, and there was a lot of production on the ground. And then you look at that 2-year-old right there. I mean, he's a stud. But we wound up in order to really show a big profit in the deer industry. We were just talking about this. It's like if you're lucky enough to have a deer that's got great blood as a yearling, and he's got great antlers, and you're lucky enough to breed a bunch of does to him, and get the production off of him. By the time that deer gets 2, if he continues to blow up and get big, tell everybody what happens then.
That's when he gets real popular and real hot and proven, and everybody wants more of him.
And so what'll happen then, when he's 2, he's got fawns on the ground. And the way you really take the next step up to where you're making money off a deer is when those fawns on the ground the next year become yearlings. And when they become great big giant yearlings like the ones we just showed you, and that buck continues to grow at 3, that's when they really take a jump. If y'all want more information about the Fed or about Springfield whitetails, get a hold of Lester. We'll have his phone number coming up on the screen. And after the break, it's going to be picnic time right here at Springfield Whitetails.
Hey guys, this is Ron with Ellie Fence here. What we're doing right now is we're putting an overhead up in this gate area solely because we're trying to hinge the gate off of the side without the brace. Reason we're doing this is because we've got the trees right here and we don't want to take any of the space and take the trees out of here. We want to leave the tree coverage for the deer. So in order to do this, we got to raise the pipes up a little bit, give about 2 feet of clearance over our gate, and then weld a horizontal pipe between the 2 uprights. In doing so, we're going to be able to hang the gate off of the far post, and that's going to take all the pressure off of the single post and distribute it through the overhead and the brace. That way we can fold the gate open and shut, and we don't have to worry about a sagging post. So if you ever need a solution on how to hang a gate but you don't have all the room for the brace, if you can do an overhead in there, you'll be good to go. So thanks a lot, guys.
If you like what you're seeing on today's show, make sure and check us out online on the Deer Farming Channel. The Deer Farming Channel is brought to you in part by Record Rack Deer and Elk Feeds.
So the way I see it, deer farming really is, it's a lifestyle. I mean, it's a job, but it's a lifestyle for people. And this is Amish country up here. And the Amish, deer farming is perfect for the Amish community for so many reasons. You can see, I mean, the Amish people love it too. All right, so what they're doing here, they're lined up for what we call farm tours. And Lester's got all these deer in these pens. And so these people that come, they wind up going through and seeing these deer firsthand. So they got that going on. They got games going on for the kids and the big kids. And of course a tent with all kinds of stuff in it.
Excited to be here at the Indiana Deer and Elk Farmers summer picnic. I'd encourage everybody, if you have never been to one of these events, to come out to one of them. As I walked around and visited the people, I've met people from 8 different states so far that are here today. I mean, the networking and what you can gain in knowledge and just to learn here and the fellowship of these people is amazing.
So that's what he looked like at 3, and on July the 13th this year, this is what he looked like at 4. 35 pounds of bone. Incredible. Okay, cut him off to make sure he stayed nice and healthy. Woo! All right, so this is Alex Draper. He's a buddy of mine from Michigan, and there's people from all over the country that are here in Indiana. Why did you come here?
In the past, we've worked with a lot of Indiana breeders, Eddie Ray, and obviously Lester. And the other thing is to see what the competition is and what we have to do to improve our genetics by looking and viewing some of the facilities around Indiana and other states. So very important.
Yeah, Alex has been in deer breeding business a long
30 years
time.
I've been in.
And one of the good things about coming to events like this, and these events are held really all over the country, is that you get to network. And networking is really important in any business.
Yeah, exactly.
Quarter down, 1 to the down back here now have you with me, boy, back row 1 quarter now have 125 down man, 50 what's going on the down back here now 75 down what's 75 boy, $300 down boy. Thank you, sir.
All right, so Clayton Armstrong is with Whitetail Sales Auction Service. He's out of Pennsylvania, and there's people from all over the country here. I mean, I look at it and I think, I want to ask you, why did you come?
The Indiana Deer Farmers Association is just it's a fun state, fun association. I like come fellowshipping with all the deer farmers in Indiana and it's just a great atmosphere to come and hang out and see big deer and see everything Indiana has to offer.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. And folks, if y'all want more information about deer farming here in Indiana, we'll have a website coming up here at the end. Sounds like the train's coming. Well, that does it for the show today, folks. And Jade and I are heading to Texas to MVP whitetails.
Man, I don't think it's gonna take us too long, do you?
I don't know. All you needed was a hat. You'd have looked perfect for this part.
Yeah.